Ready?
Yep.
No. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm Matt Hayes, and this is my son, Calvin Hayes.
Hello.
And hello, exactly. And this is the first episode, the introductory episode of the 2019 Ultimate Dino Tournament. And the idea is that Calvin has selected 16 different dinosaurs. They're going to be in a tournament, bracket style. We'll put it up on the screen for you to see. And they're going to play out in, what's the name of the game?
Jurassic World Evolution.
That's right. So Calvin is he's gonna set these dinos up so they fight each other, and then we'll see who wins, who advances through the tournament. We're gonna put this bracket up for you to download so that you can play along. You can pick who you think is gonna win, and then who's gonna be the eventual champion. We'll do one episode every once in a while. I think we're gonna do it every week,
Yep.
but we're not sure.
But
How much work that's gonna be?
Posting them every single time.
Yeah, I think that's what we'll do.
Okay.
Each fight, right?
Yeah.
We'll do. That sounds good. So that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
And that's it. Calvin is really into dinosaurs and knows more about them than any person that I know, and so he's gonna be kind of our guide, and I'm gonna be his dad, and we're gonna see how this goes. So Cal and I are gonna each also fill out a bracket ourselves, and you guys, we would love to have you fill one out too. And to see who's going to win, and then starting with next episode, we'll do the first battle, and then we'll keep going from there. So Cal, what I was thinking is that you could just walk us through all the dinos real quick.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so Allosaurus is the first one. He's fighting Maetriacanthosaurus. Tell me a little bit about Allosaurus.
I failed last time on this. Hello, Jackson.
Hi, buddy.
Calvin's older brother's just walked up behind this scene, and he's checking things out.
He's the master Iron Chip. He's gonna watch us.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to do this with him just
Sorry.
watching us, huh? Yeah. That's
I knew
okay.
like,
I'll sit here.
okay. Allosaurus is a very large carnivore, lived in the Jurassic period, Mesozoic era, about 150 million years ago. He was faster than T-Rex and had 3 fingered claws on his arms, although not as long as Spinosaurus, which is also in this tournament. We'll talk about him later.
Yes.
And his opponent is Maetriacanthosaurus, much smaller, about my dad and a half.
Okay.
So like it's about as tall, 3 meters.
Maybe 3 meters. That sounds about right. That's about me plus a half.
Yeah.
That's about me plus
And
a
then
half. And what kind of dinosaur is Maetriacanthosaurus? Is he like does he look like T-Rex, or does he look like
No.
Stegosaurus?
he doesn't look like Stegosaurus. He looks like okay, if you don't know Carnotaurus, if in the Disney movie Dinosaur, or anything else like Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, or if you play Jurassic World Evolution, you may have him. He looks like him without horns. And a little bit of a crest like Allosaurus.
Okay.
And not super long, about 15 feet maybe.
Okay.
Not super long for a dinosaur.
Was he alive at the same time as Allosaurus was alive? Like, would they have fought in real life, or?
No, Allosaurus lives in USA and Africa, or like stuff. And then Maetriacanthosaurus lives in England, Italy.
Oh, okay, Europe area. Were they around at the same time?
No. So that is our first fight. Also, if anyone wants to know who is faster and has a better bite force, Allosaurus is faster. Maetriacanthosaurus may be smaller, but it's not faster, but has a stronger bite force. Allosaurus uses an axe bite force, and he opens his jaws very wide, wider, like almost twice as wide as the T-Rex.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's
So
interesting.
that is our first fight. You can say who was.
Who you think's gonna win there? Okay.
Yeah. And the next one is T-Rex versus Saurapelta.
Never heard
T-Rex
of Saurapelta.
Doesn't really need an introduction, so his will be pretty short.
Yep.
Well, he's very large. The fifth largest carnivorous dinosaur that was on the planet and in the Cretaceous period. He was about 42 feet long.
Wow.
Although compared to Spinosaurus, he was very small. We'll tell you about Spinosaurus once we get to him again.
What about Saurapelta? Who he's fighting?
Okay.
So
Saurapelta is like an Ankylosaurus.
Oh,
but
okay.
without a club.
Okay.
And giant spikes about this long coming out of his back.
Really?
So
he's like an Ankylosaurus with spikes coming out of his shoulder and no club.
No club.
Okay.
So he would use his bumping technique that way to
bumping technique?
attack him. And his armor would probably protect him from T-Rex 6-ton bite force.
Oh, okay. Next on the list is Triceratops, who's going to be fighting Ceratosaurus. Tell us about Triceratops. That's a classic, right?
Yeah. Triceratops would have fought T-Rex, and well, you all know that Triceratops.
You mean in real life?
In real life, yes.
Okay.
And if Triceratops wins enough fights, or if T-Rex wins enough fight, they will fight. And then Triceratops is very big, and most herbivores are heavier than carnivores. It was very robust and could stay on his feet. It was hard to topple. And his horns weren't actually that strong. They're more thin. So it would be hard for Triceratops to pierce through Ceratosaurus' tough skin.
Oh, really?
Ceratosaurus has 3 horns, although you can only see one giant horn.
Who, Ceratosaurus?
Yeah, and then the other 2 come out of his head a tiny bit. Although they look like little crests.
So Ceratosaurus is...
He runs very fast, not a very powerful bite force, kind of like Allosaurus.
He's a carnivore, though.
Yeah,
Let's get that straight, right?
Yes. He looks like a T-Rex a little.
Like a small T-Rex?
Yeah, ish.
Okay.
Except with...
But with horns?
Yeah, with horns.
What did he use his horns for?
He used it... He doesn't use it for attacking. I think he uses it for attracting a mate.
Attracting mates?
Also, Ceratosaurus is in Jurassic Park 3.
Oh, okay.
Only a little part.
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
Yeah, you have. You just missed that part.
Is it good?
It's kind of good. He gets scared away by Spinosaurus poop because Spinosaurus poop.
Yeah.
And yeah.
All right.
So you can place your votes on that one. Also, if you want to know what any of these dinosaurs look like, it will say how to spell them on
the bracket.
Tournament bracket. And then next one is Carcharadontosaurus versus Pentaceratops. Carcharadontosaurus, like we talked about T-Rex, is in the top 5 of the largest carnivores.
Really?
Although he is
top 5?
Second largest.
Dinosaur?
Carnivorous dinosaur.
Wow. Who's the first?
Spinosaurus.
Okay.
Now, Carcharadontosaurus once had a fossil find. Now, this doesn't mean it's in the name of Carcharadontosaurus killing a Spinosaurus.
We gotta let these motorcycles go by. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
All right. So there was once a fossil find, you were saying, of Carcharadontosaurus. What about it?
Killing Spinosaurus.
Oh.
They lived both in Africa, although Carcharadontosaurus probably had the upper advantage because it actually hunts. Spinosaurus only eats fish.
Okay.
And Carcharadontosaurus, like Allosaurus, has not a very strong bite, and its name actually means shark-toothed reptile.
Wow.
And he uses his teeth to slash animals' bodies like a shark does.
Okay, all right.
Like Allosaurus. So he does like grind and break bones. He just slashes them until they bleed out and die.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah, so and then Pentaceratops.
That's who Carcharadontosaurus is going to fight in the first round, yep.
Is a larger version. It has a bigger frill of Triceratops.
He's bigger than the Triceratops?
Yeah, and he has longer horns. It is much more stout, I guess.
Okay.
And his horns, unlike Triceratops's, are much thicker and are easier to pierce through other dinosaurs. Also, it would stink if this happened if two herbivores beat two carnivores and then they went against each other and they had to fight.
Because in the game, how do we get a Triceratops and a Pentaceratops to fight? I guess we'll just have to find out. Right?
Yeah, we'll just have to find out.
But
we'll hopefully one carnivore will win.
Right.
And then that is the first.
That's the first
part.
side of the bracket. Yep.
This is the second part. Now we're at Spinosaurus
All right.
versus Huayangosaurus. I'll tell you about Huayangosaurus in a second. Spinosaurus, the largest carnivore dinosaur, and one of the largest predator dinosaur that walked the earth.
Yep.
Well, it lived in Africa with Carcharadontosaurus and could have swam in shallow water and ate fish. And even some scavenger dinosaurs ate off his scraps, like Rugops. And we'll show you Rugops, but he's not on the game. There's this cool documentary on BBC called Planet Dinosaur. You guys should watch it. This is
definitely
where I got some of the knowledge. So Spinosaurus, yeah, and then his large arms and claws are very strong. And if you see Jurassic Park 3, Spinosaurus kills a T-Rex. And
do you think that's realistic?
the snap neck, Spinosaurus does have a very strong bite, but it looks like he uses his hands to snap the neck.
To snap the necks of?
Yeah, the T-Rex.
Oh.
But that would have been very useful because it would just claw off.
Yeah.
And the Spinosaurus's jaws weren't strong. Now, Huayangosaurus, if anyone loves Stegosaurus like my dad, you will like him.
I do love Stegosaurus.
He is smaller, and the plates are thinner and go more like slanted.
So he's like a Stegosaurus.
Yeah, and then half of them are like that, and then half of them are like spikes.
Oh.
He's basically a Carnotaurus, but lives in China.
Basically a what?
Also a Carnotaurus.
Okay.
We'll show you him also in the description. So he also has spikes coming out of his back. They would be very useful. He mostly uses his tail. Spike. We once did a tournament on this once, but it wasn't like public. Not like public.
Yeah. It was private.
And we had like a Chunkingosaurus fight, and he was very good. And Huayangosaurus is very much related to Chunkingosaurus, although a little smaller.
Chunkingosaurus.
Chunkingosaurus.
Did he have a beautiful body?
Oh yeah, he was cool. Remember him? Yeah. So that's our first fight, and our second fight is Baryonyx, who you can see in Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom or Jurassic World: Evolution, and Stegosaurus. Oh, also you can see Baryonyx in one of Ice Age's movie, the dinosaur one, and he is Rudy. And then Stegosaurus.
I didn't know that. Really?
Yeah.
How do you know he's a Baryonyx?
He looks like Baryonyx.
Sweet.
Stegosaurus, you all know him, my dad's favorite dinosaur.
Absolutely.
He looks like the Huayangosaurus, except his plates are thicker, and he was way much bigger, and his tail could swing 20 meters per second.
Wow.
Or maybe 20 feet, but I don't know.
Fast.
That's fast.
And then, and when he had spikes.
Spikes.
And so
about
he could
this long.
He could just whip those spikes into
an
attacker.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
That's what I always thought he did with them.
Yeah. And then that's that fight. Oh wait, I have to say Baryonyx, of course. So Baryonyx was like a small Spinosaurus without a spine. It had these
Wait. He
Really?
didn't have a spine?
like the spine thing.
Oh. He didn't have a,
Yeah.
what do they call that?
Sail.
A sail. He didn't have a sail on his spine.
And then he had a
Spineless
thumb. He
dinosaur,
has
that'd be weird.
a thumb claw like Iguanodon, who's also in this fight.
Right.
But it was about like 10 pounds, and it was about like this long, like from my finger to that finger.
Wow. On his thumb.
Yeah,
Was his
on his
claw.
thumb.
Do you use that for hunting or for fighting, or what do you use that for?
Fighting.
Yeah.
Wait until we tell you about Iguanodon, who's
Oh.
in a little bit.
Oh, that's
And
right.
Baryonyx also didn't have a very strong bite, but his claws were very, very useful. And then the next fight is Suchomimus, my second favorite dinosaur, versus Ankylosaurus. Now, you all know Ankylosaurus is a very strong dinosaur. If you saw Jurassic World, he fights the Indominus Rex. And he's very armored. He's like the Saurapelta, but with smaller spikes. And actually, Ankylosaurus eyelids are armored too.
Really?
Yeah.
And he has a club on the end of his tail, right?
Also, the armor
yes?
Also, the armor that he has grows out of his skin.
Oh. Well, how's that different than like Stegosaurus?
Well, Stegosaurus's plates
Yeah.
help heat him up.
Oh.
The Ankylosaurus, like I near decided, the Ankylosaurus uses his for protection.
Got it.
And then
The
claw-
Stegosaurus uses his plates to get warm?
and then the Ankylosaurus's club is about the size of your face.
Oh wow.
And it moves almost as fast as the Stegosaurus.
What
And then the
what period was the
Cretaceous.
The Ankylosaurus is the Cretaceous. Right. So
Suchomimus,
like most of these dinosaurs, are they mostly Cretaceous?
mostly. I don't know why they call it Jurassic Park. And then Suchomimus is basically a Baryonyx but larger. Very large claws, but not like Baryonyx's, and a very long snout. Its name means crocodile mimic.
Crocodile mimic?
Mimic.
Oh, mimus.
Mimus.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they're not all called mimus.
Because that's the mimic part.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, so that's our fight for that one. And then
The last fight is
is Carnotaurus versus Iguanodon. Now we talked about Carnotaurus like Maetriacanthosaurus, you know. So he was in the Disney movie Dinosaur, Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom, and Jurassic World: Evolution. He is like the Maetriacanthosaurus, both horns, and more of a round, circly head.
oh,
And a
but
very
he's a carnivore.
Yeah, and
is
a
he
very-
is he on 2 feet?
yeah, 2 feet, and a very weak bite. Also, his arms were about the size of a potato.
What? Like that? That's
yeah,
crazy.
and they were basically a potato.
Okay.
Because
it's
like
just
their fingers were like
super
size
tiny.
of a pebble.
So they didn't do him any good at all.
No. So
Okay.
if he fell over like that, he'd be in big trouble. And then Carnotaurus was Iguanodon. Like the Baryonyx, he has a thumb claw, about the same size, but uses them way more because, well, that's his only defense.
That's
So-
the Iguanodon's only defense because he's
Yes.
an herbivore. Clearly.
Yeah, so if you know Pentaceratops, which a lot of people love, he's like him without the crest and thumb spikes. And mostly goes on his 2 hind legs. So that is our battle.
Yeah, we'll put it. It's in the comments for download. This bracket, so you can fill it in. Calvin and I are going to fill it in. Next episode, we'll do the very first battle. We'll introduce it. We'll talk some more about it. We'll also share with you who we think is going to win. and then we can all play along together. Calvin, you know a lot about dinosaurs. I know that the people who are watching are probably people who also love dinosaurs and know a lot about dinosaurs. What are some of the resources that you use to get your knowledge?
I mostly use dinosaur books. So I use dinosaur books when I look at the pages, but they don't show pictures. So then I look it up on the computer and see them, and then I like to know about them, and then I'm like, wow, that dinosaur is cool.
Right.
Or sometimes I just see him on a book, I'm like, I like that guy.
Right. Awesome. Well, we thank you for joining Calvin and I for the 2019 Ultimate Dino Tournament. And we'll look forward to soon, like within the next week, we will have the second episode, which will be the first battle, which again is going to be Allosaurus and Maetriacanthosaurus. Just as a teaser for the audience, Calvin, who do you pick here, Allosaurus versus Maetriacanthosaurus?
I think I pick Allosaurus.
Yeah.
He's much larger with larger claws and faster, although he has a weaker bite force. So Maetriacanthosaurus could possibly pull this off.
Right.
Well, thank you, and we hope you enjoyed, and click the notification bell to know what we get every week.
Oh yeah, to subscribe.
To subscribe.
Should we subscribe? I have to ask people to subscribe, right?
Subscribe!
That's right. And thanks. Can you push the button? It's down the bottom on the stick. There you go. It's still going. See, so you do it right here.
Oh, okay.